Welcome back to Sapphire's Unscripted, episode 134. It's the new look. We said we're going to take your suggestions. We started off, as you can see, above Brevan's head, the new logo. So it's out with the old, in with the new. I know it's nothing crazy or something, but we wanted to switch things up. We wanted to get you guys more involved. We have reached out to some guests also to get them on. Brevan, my man, how's your week been? Obviously, this video goes out on Friday. You had a good week?
Yeah, all good. Nothing crazy, nothing too serious. Just been one of those weeks where you can't wait for the weekend because there's more sports on. And it's a crazy weekend of sport. Not just rugby, there's other sports as well. But obviously, in this week, we've had some crazy news coming out from different platforms about the French, which a lot of people are very upset with, and rightly so. And obviously, Sexton advertising his new book. That's also a spicy topic at the moment that we would probably chat about. And then obviously URC, another big weekend for the South African team. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. In this video, we'll talk about it all because we can't go and not talk about some crazy news in terms of the Sexton and Ioane stuff. We can't go without talking about the French things. I made a video on my personal channel about it, but I would love to get your insights around it as well. And then obviously we're going to start off. Well, obviously we're also going to chat about the URC coming this weekend. But as we mentioned in our previous episode, we're going to highlight some comment section, some comments that we had on our previous video. It was obviously what is the expectations for like the South African teams and literally for all the other teams. And there's a couple of ones that I want to highlight because this one made me laugh, right? So Kerry Lass said, in fairness, lads, I think many are nervous for this season. As I said, while called up in a fetal position on my therapist's couch, Leinster, it just has to be this year, right? Because obviously, before going into this, we've all just heard this Leinster chat. Leinster. And since then, they've bottled a couple of finals. They haven't won a single trophy. And I can just imagine it like in a movie, just fetal position, almost cuddling yourself, trying to say, surely it's this year. And as soon as Shirley gets said, you already know it's a tough time out there.
Yeah. But like with the personnel they've added, you think, surely.
Surely. That's the thing that I've realized. Like I'm a gambling man. And when I sit here with my bet slip, it's like, surely this happens. Like there's no way that this doesn't happen. And as soon as I say surely, I already know, okay, it's an absolute farce. Get it out of here. But yeah, I mean, if you look at their lineup, and we spoke about it last week, and it was like, yeah, if you look at it, who's got the strongest lineup between the Sharks and Leinster? Because they just run away with it in terms of star-studded names. Geordie Barrett added to it. Taniela Tupou added to it. Ergie Snyman. I mean, how can you not back this team to win it all? It's crazy.
Yeah. The thing is, like, everyone speaks about this curse, right? But obviously, Leinster have won a lot of trophies before. So I just think at some point, fate is just going to give way and say, listen, this team is probably the best team that's within the URC. But look, I just think adding that personnel like Geordie Barrett and Ergie Snyman and Tupou, you're adding a lot of experience, and at the same time, you're adding a winner's mentality.
I was just going to say, you're adding winners. That's what they do.
So and obviously Jacques Nienaber there helping like fully. I saw something the other day that they want to try and bring in that South African role where senior players get what it feels like to be inside the coaching box as well, so that they can see what coaches expect for them on the field while it's all going on. So I just think Leinster are taking this very seriously, and I mean, with that team, I'm not going to bet against them. I'm not going to be that guy that says, "Oh no, they'll choke again."
No, I've actually done my predictions, and I've said Leinster has to win it. Yeah. I can't see a way that Leinster doesn't do it this time around. Like you add all those winners together, it's big names. They know how to do it with the team that they already had. Feisty, very feisty. Anyway, let's move on to the other comments. Obviously, I wanted to give out a shout out to Ockert Grijvenstein. This guy's been with us forever. Like I've seen this guy since we were like under 100 subscribers. He said, "I'm a Bulls fan this year. It doesn't matter home or away. We have to win it all. We have the depth, we have the players, we have the coaching staff, we have the leaders to win it." So he's kind of just like emphasizing the point that you made as well last weekend. So we won't go into a lot of chat with that one. An interesting one that I kind of just wanted to bring to your attention. There was someone from Argentina that actually came through and commented, and this was on Monday's video actually, but it only popped through now. As an Argentinian, I was thinking the Curry Cup teams that are not in the URC. So we're talking about like the Pumas, the Griquas, the Cheetahs, obviously the main one of them. They're kind of just wasted at the moment. Why not include them in the Super Rugby Americas to make it more exciting and a return to add the Argentinians and the rest of the South American teams to the Curry Cup, for instance. So I would love, imagine if we said, okay, well, the Cheetahs can't necessarily come into the URC, but we can kind of still give back to the Super Rugby and keep our boys involved there. Why not add 2 or 3 South African teams in there just to like continue our growth? Surely that will be an exciting thing for the Super Rugby. That will be exciting for us. I know it's way easier said than done, but that would be good if you can have South African teams involved in literally both. They're not doing anything. Why not?
Yeah. It's an interesting one because, like, obviously we want those teams to get exposure to proper competition. Like now we see they're doing this little tournament with the emerging Irish side and Western Force. I mean, obviously playing 3 games probably. It's just the Pumas and the Cheetahs involved there, but I just like that can't be at all. You know, that can't be their exposure to
exactly. They don't play anything outside the Challenge Cup at the moment.
Yeah, which is, I think,
it keeps the money rolling in for those teams as well. Like financially, it benefits us. Financially, it could benefit the Super Rugby. Get a lot of South African viewers on it again. Gives us, like, I'm not a Cheetah supporter by any means, but when the Cheetahs go and they have to play against the Crusaders or the Brumbies or whatever in the Super Rugby, I'd watch it. It puts more South African eyes on it again. Like, it gets you that first step of like, okay, well, there's something new. There's something different. Then you add maybe, I don't even know. I just think it would be exciting, like extremely. I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
And with Francois Steyn at the helm at the Cheetahs and obviously Jimmy Stonehouse there at the Pumas, those guys are very knowledgeable guys when it comes to the game of rugby. You know, they're not going to take a blind side that they can't lead. So obviously it might take a few seasons to maybe adjust from getting a big hammering here and there, because obviously they haven't been exposed to that level of rugby for a long time. But I think
haven't they though? Because they've played Challenge Cup.
I don't think. I think Super Rugby might just be certain. Yeah.
Anyway, final comment. Okay, and this comes from Jobo Jola. So he's out there. He's your neighbor, next door neighbor. Kate Volita, only 1 year older than Sasha. We spoke about this. If he stays fit, and if he plays every game like he played for the Lions last weekend, he could be a great backup fly-off come 2027 and beyond. He's got that Andre Pollard mold. I don't disagree with that at all. Like, are we for certain that we still see Andre Pollard come 2027? Maybe if he stays injury-free. But if you want a like-for-like replacement in terms of a youngster coming through, Kate Volita is the man. We cannot forget the hype that this guy had. The only problem that he had wasn't form, was injuries. If he fixes that, stays fit, could have another dangerous 10 on our hands.
So Pollard will be 33 at the next World Cup.
How old will his knees be?
Yeah, that's the thing. At that point, like in 2027, do we still want to stick with a guy that can just win it with his boot, like coming off the bench? Because obviously I wouldn't start him come 2027. But I don't know. I think that's an important, what I'm trying to say is I think we need an experienced fly half in that role, per se, coming off the bench. And then, for example, at the next World Cup, Sasha would have had that experience or whatever.
Yeah,
And
4 years
I
of
don't know.
experience for Sasha as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Cade's great. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic fly half. But, and if he can actually kick up and put on a good, consistent 3 years of good performances, I don't see why he wouldn't be an option to go to Australia, you know?
Yeah. Remember, he's very, very reliable off the tee. He's not shy at all to take the ball up into the line. He's not your tallest guy, but he's a big boy. He's got a stocky build, you know. He's a big, strong guy. And he played brilliantly against Ulster. I mean, we have to remember, this guy, he was plagued with injuries. First big game back, really. Scintillating performance. If it wasn't for Ioane that looked like a generational talent out there, then Kate Voliter was the man. He was running the show, in my opinion. I thought he had a great performance. So if he can put together, as you said, 3 good years, and he's reliable off the tee, I like the fact that we have Sasha and Marnie and Andre that all kind of offer you something different. So we can switch up the game plan during the game. If we see Marnie or Sasha struggling from the tee, and you bring on Kate Voliter that plays a like-for-like game that Andre Pollard does, in my opinion, I mean, can you really go wrong with it? Like, obviously, Kate's not going to be first choice, not now anyway. Yeah. But if you just like kind of blood him in, give him that confidence, I think the Lions is the perfect place for him to be. That is where, like, the youngsters come through, they experience it all. Could you see Kate Voliter taking over from Ioane Goosen possibly at the Bulls in a season or two?
Easy. Johan's getting old, and obviously he's had his fair share of injuries as well. But I would give anything to just have a fly off that's very consistent. Like Ioane Goosen is a very good fly off, but I sometimes find that he's not as consistent as what maybe the Bulls would like. You'll give an excellent performance and then give something that's just under par, which isn't ideal. So I would take Cade any day.
Imagine you take a fit Cade at the age of like 24, 25. I mean, the guy's what, 22, 23? Ridiculous. You take him, you put him in that Bulls team, you can keep him for years. I mean, just think about how good he'll be. That is crazy. Anyway, let's talk about what we actually came here to talk about. Obviously, this is a stacked episode. Okay, we've spent about 13 minutes just talking about the comments. But I'll give you the choice. We talking France? We talking about of rugby Sexton versus Ioane drama?
Oh, they're both so good. I'm gonna go Sexton. Actually, no.
Okay.
Sexton. Let's go Sexton.
Let's talk about the Sexton drama. I'm all here for it. I love it.
It's great.
I've said I want some argy-bargy. You know, the only thing that's missing now is just like some crazy press conferences. Get Eddie Jones back into the main scene where I can see a week in, week out Eddie Jones press conference as well. I love a bit of drama. Like, seriously, boys, what's the big deal? Oh, should have been more respectful or whatever. Did they forget? Was it what Peter O'Mahony said to Brady Retallick?
Shit, no, to Sam Cane, yeah.
Or Sam Cane, yeah, sorry. Like, boys, I don't have an issue with Peter O'Mahony. I don't have an issue with Rico Ioane. I don't have an issue with Johnny Sexton. I want more of it. This sport, it's a physical alpha male sport where people just bash and smash into each other. I don't care. You can drink your beers afterwards, directly after the game or whatever. If there's a bit of argy-bargy, I'm all here for it. And I want more of it. More. Give me more of it. I think it's too respectful at where the game's at right now.
The thing is, like, I don't think how can I put this? Because obviously what Rico said is just like, it seems disrespectful, but people don't realize in the heat of the game, I'm sure Sexton was talking a lot in that game. Like, it's just his natural game. And obviously we know he has a history of chatting to players, chatting to refs, etc. And Rico just said, you know what, mates, you guys seem like you're arrogant. So don't miss your flight tomorrow. With another explicit word.
Yeah, well, listen, if you saw the video. It kind of looked like, and I'm not trying to put words into people's mouths or try to read into body language, but it kind of looks like when they shook hands, it was calm. And it looks like Johnny Sexton said something, and then Ioane retaliated. That's how I took it from like the body language on the field. Like I'm sure Ioane doesn't just pop that out of absolutely thin air. But he was talking facts? Did he have a flight to catch? Was he retiring?
He did.
So maybe he just said, enjoy retirement, have a safe flight home. Was he really that malicious? I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Like at the end of the day, there's obviously a respect thing, but at the same time, it's a game that I look at it like the NFL, for example, or boxing or that type of thing. There's no holds barred when it comes to like fight time or game time or whatever or mental warfare. And you know what? That it's just mental warfare. That's all it is. Can you take that mental warfare after the game? I'll shake your hand, and I will say, mate, you were hard out there. You took it like a champ. Blah blah blah. It's just like that's how it is, and it adds. If we want to get into business side of things, it's going to add more eyes to the sport because of what.
Of course.
And
I mean,
so yeah, like you gotta think of it like that. Like obviously, we think of rugby as a gentleman's game, and it absolutely is. It's obviously like a very alpha male type game, but it's a very gentleman-like. You show your respect to teams, and that's fine. But I think adding that bit of just some kind of spark to it, like. Yeah, I don't see why it would damage the game. I really don't.
It is absolutely sexy. I love it. Okay, I absolutely love it. You look at what kind of put the UFC on the map, right? Like UFC was big. Conor McGregor in press conferences really took it to the next level, right? Obviously, it was a big sport, but that took it to a new level. You see boxers do it all the time. That's why fights get hyped up so much. You look at a Tyson Fury fight. There's no respect shown or whatever. You're going out there for war, you know. It is what it is. I love the fact that this book has come out and people are talking about it. New eyes are coming onto the sport. You have Ioane literally doubling up on it. I mean, he posted a photo of it today on Instagram with like the Joker, and he posted the zombie song over it. I know people have their thoughts and whatever about the zombie song, but I'm just the shithousery of it. I absolutely love and adore it. That is what gets me excited because now I know. Well, come end of the year, we know we have a feisty banger out there, and we're talking about the end of the year, like just the end of the year. It's in a month. It's in a month and a half, whatever. It is glorious, and you already know that if Argentina win this, not Argentina, Ireland win this game, there's going to be even more shit stirred because it's going to be like, yeah, well, we still knocked out in the quarterfinals. You're going to hear the bottlers once again. Just gets more and more and more attention and gets more eyes on the sport. And I'm all here for it. I'm done with this respectful thing. Oh, yeah, they're a strong team. Whatever. Boring. Puts me to sleep. It's like ASMR. Anyway.
Yeah, like obviously, don't get me wrong, there's ways to go about it. Like, for example, there's some games that sell themselves. And that's like, for example, a Springbok versus New Zealand. So you don't need the shithousery there. It sells itself because you know what they're going to do on the field. But like there's that then you get the South African Irish rivalry where it's not just a respect rivalry, it's a what you guys there's a bit of, I won't say use the word hate, but I'd use the word I'd love to get one over you, that type of thing.
It's a lot of competitiveness,
So they like honestly the UK is known for their banter. Like that is what they are known for. It's like they love and live for that. And I think South Africans as well. Obviously, we cry a lot about the refs, but other than that, we love our banter, So absolutely, like honestly, I'd love to hear Evan come and chirp again,
Exactly, twist their words, play twister, twist their words. I don't care. Even Israel Dag, right? He came under fire with going onto their media and speaking about it, and he was like, well, the All Blacks bottled it all up and you bottled it in the quarterfinal, and he's been getting the smoke from there and he's not back down with it at all. I just love it. I love it all. I'm here for it. I want more of it. Yeah, it's glorious. Yeah. Anyway, let's get onto some serious matters. And we just spoke about the All Blacks and it hasn't stopped there. France, I mean, It is the expected. But for me, it's like I have this little glimmer of hope that things might change because it's the All Blacks. They've decided to send out a B/C team to take on the All Blacks. And I don't care whether France actually get one over the All Blacks if they win the series with the B/C team. I think it's extremely disrespectful. What's your thoughts?
So it's clear what's happening here. It's clear that owners or just in general, the French league, the top 14, runs that sport, and it runs it completely. I mean, look how harsh some of those owners are on players, like for example, Sia Khaleesi, that type of thing. We saw it with Julian Savea. These guys are ruthless. They don't care about international rugby. They want their franchise to play and win as much as possible, and that's all that's important to them. And I saw an interesting comment as well, saying all they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot by not sending a stronger side to New Zealand, because come World Cup time, have you exposed those players in positions that it's going to be tough? For example, sending your team to play a 3-match series in New Zealand and winning that, overcoming that. We saw, obviously,
knowing the World Cup is in Australia.
Absolutely. And obviously, look, the Irish came short in the quarterfinal, obviously, and they just beaten New Zealand. But still, it was a close game, and the Irish are on the level of the Springboks and New Zealand. Like, they are there. They are competing. You can say what you want about France. They're a great team, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's literally just ruining when it comes like sales of tickets, merchandise. Like you said, that hunger to watch a game, to buy into a game, to get your ticket, to tune in wherever you are, make sure you can't miss that game. Now we just think, B or C team, whatever, don't care who wins type thing. It's just, it kills the game. It absolutely kills. And then people will say like, okay, with the Springboks and stuff, but it's different. It's different because obviously.
Let me explain to you, Reuben. I'll say this in the nicest way possible. Referencing the Springbok stuff is ludicrous and it's stupid because they're talking about what the Springboks did against Argentina. You do realize in that game, we still played Oxen Che, Malcolm Marx, Vincent Koch, Evan Etzebeth, Marco van Staden, Jasper Wiese, Kobus Reinach, Andre Pollard, Lucania Jesse Creel, Makazolo Mapimpi, Kurtley Arendse. I've just mentioned 12 World Cup winners. And we want to say this is the same as an official tour to somewhere else. Then they want to talk about this, the team that we sent to Wales. That was the ultimate of ultimate friendlies. One game friendly in Twickenham, while the next weekend we had to play against Ireland at home. So we want to train in South Africa, fly to Twickenham, play a friendly games there, fly back, and then take on the tour. It's totally different. So that is not in the same thing. Now, I'm not going to be hypocritical. I understand to some degree with the top 14, it's a massive generator of money for the French, right? They don't see the benefit in that because the top 14 is the thing that generates the money, not necessarily international rugby. I read that they find that more enticing, like it's a bigger thing for them. Like every other country prioritizes international rugby, where they don't. They see the pinnacle of their rugby as the top 14, but it doesn't take away that the pinnacle of rugby will always be international and then franchise. And I find it so disrespectful. I would find it way easier with the thing that they did against Argentina, for instance. But we spoke about that when that time came along as well. But both of these teams are number 3 and number 4 in the world, both with the potential to be number 1 in the world. It's an official tour. You look at how far these tours take you. People will be talking about it for a long time, what Ireland did in New Zealand. They still use that today with saying how good they are. It's a massive thing for them. You look at what Ireland did in South Africa, right? Like these tours are a massive thing. How disrespected do you think the French would feel if all the Autumn Nations teams sent and played a C team, Currie Cup and Super Rugby boys, not international players, and they all just played against the French? They would feel utterly, utterly disrespected. Don't you think? Because look at how much sales they lose. because they want to see Cheslin Kolbe and Eben Etzebeth and those boys run onto their fields. No disrespect. First name that comes to mind, they don't want to see, for instance, Boeta Chamberlain just running out onto the field, or just some random guy from the Currie Cup or the Super Rugby. They'd feel like, what's the point of this even? Why are we hosting this? Why are we making this a big deal? Because they would be losing sales. They would be losing ticket sales. Their audiences would be thinking, what's the point of even going? Sorry, I just rambled. You can go. Come in.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. It's a thing that, like, for example, I don't actually know what to think of it. Is it a thing that if we go there with our strongest side and slip up, it looks bad on us and they don't want that image? Is it a fact that top 14 runs French rugby, regardless of what anyone says? Yeah. I mean, you'd think that the French Rugby Federation has some kind of, power in saying
if every other franchise league in the world can fit into the international window, we all know when the international window is. It's the autumn nations. It's June/July. It's not for a long time. And then you have the Six Nations. So you play in 2 of those 3 windows. Well, actually 3 out of the 3 windows. But you play less games the one than the others, right? Every other franchise league fits into this. Why can't the top 14 do it as well? Their league is longer than everyone else's. Why can't they move it 1 week earlier? Why can't they shift it 1 week, give their guys a week off, and then they play in 2 weeks' time? I don't want to hear this thing where it's like, we don't want to let them go because then they can't play top 14. Well, your poster boy, at the moment your league's on, your poster boy sitting there throwing NFL footballs and kicking field goals. He's not there now. So what is this thing actually about?
Yeah, it's
like it's selfish. It's just selfish. Because they're saying it's a monetary thing, so they lose money or whatever, right? But what do you think? You're killing the international game by doing this. Why are you even touring? Why are you even putting yourself out there to tour?
Yeah, and I personally think they're just shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, the amount, the things that they'll gain from taking their strongest team down to New Zealand and just letting them play 3 test matches, see where they're at. Strongest team traveling to New Zealand at the moment, I truly think the French win 3-0. I'm not even joking. Like, the strongest French team.
After the 6 Nations?
Put DuPont in that team, they'll win 3-0. I'm gonna be that guy. They are a very good outfit. I mean, I'm just comparing the 2 at the moment. If I look at what the French, I'm not taking the what do you call it, the Six Nations. I'm taking the World Cup France versus the current New Zealand team, and I'm just putting them together. And I'm saying that French team has a bit too much for them at the moment. And if they do slip up, right, it still teaches them valuable lessons going into 2027. Valuable lessons. And now they're going to lose that. And I'm like, why? Why do you want to jeopardize what you can take away from these tours so that you've truly only learned about oppositions in Six Nations, and you've played 1 or 2 or 3 games in November against a Southern Hemisphere side that may not even be one of the Springboks or New Zealand. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not great.
Yeah, and that is part of the reason why I can never give the full credit necessarily that some of their players deserve. I'm not blaming the players for this at all. Obviously, they are contractually binded to this. If the top 14 doesn't let them go, what can they do? Okay, so I'm not going off on the players at all. But there's a reason why we always talk about when we say who's the best players in the world, that we can't put Antoine Dupont from our perspective in this conversation. Because we say, okay, Cheslin Kolbe and Pieter Steff, they've achieved everything, right? There's nothing really more that they can do to be more in the conversation. But there's clear things that Antoine Dupont has done. And when you just reference top 14 stuff that people have done, but they don't do anything outside of that, they've played 30 minutes outside of Europe, you're never going to get the credit. Right? We're never going to put the respect on France. Because now France, they play top 14, they don't tour. We're not. That's why people are writing off the French tours, like, because they only play their C team and stuff. So you can never talk about their tours. So that's why I don't want to give them any credit for anything, because they just play a B or C team. Now, I'm not saying the B or C team can't pull off an upset victory, right? Because they have talented boys. But then it's like, if one won Six Nations, you haven't done anything, you're acting like these rugby juggernauts, well, you haven't accomplished anything. That's why we can't put the necessary respect or credit on your name, because it's just nothing of it's valid. There's nothing that's valid that's there.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you thinking we're done with this conversation? Let's actually go to the URC. Are we in agreement?
Happy.
Okay. Round 3, we spoke about round 2. Obviously, the Stormers haven't played yet. The only team that has not played yet. They will be playing their first game in round 3. Brevin, you're nodding your head like you're thinking I'm serious.
I was like thinking while you were saying that, I was like, and then I clicked. Oh yeah, he's probably just disappointed from the previous.
Yeah. So the Stormers will be playing their first game. We'll talk about that in a bit. Okay. We'll start off with the Sapphires teams. Okay. First game of the Sapphires. Game of the weekend. We've got the Lions taking on Edinburgh. What are we thinking?
After the Lions' performance, I think they have a good chance. I'm not going to lie.
I'm backing them.
I back them. Obviously, Edinburgh losing against a Bulls team that's not at full strength. Obviously, obviously a good players in that team, and obviously some regulars, but not our strongest. And also, just against a Bulls team that wasn't clicking, just wasn't like what we know they can be. So you're playing against the Lions team who are riled up, ready. They've just put in a statement performance against Ulster.
Ulster beat the defending champions as well.
Yeah, so I back the Lions to get a result here. I mean, they are looking hungry. And like I said, if they continue to just consistently perform, I can see them being in the top 8 because they produce that type of rugby. Whether they
They're
get
the most
past
exciting team at the moment when it comes to the South Africans.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a chip on their shoulder, right? They don't have these luxuries like the Bulls have with the Springboks, the Stormers, the Sharks. They have their few, but they aren't regulars, and they have got to call up here or there and then get sent back. And obviously, these guys aren't getting the massive shine that other players are getting from other unions. So they'll say, screw that, I'll show you. Like, if anything, we are going to play the best rugby out of the 4 unions this year. So they just got to keep at it. I mean, with the performance like they did against Ulster, they just have to just keep at it because that kind of consistency is what wins. It's what got them to the final in Super Rugby.
Especially that home form. If they can continue, if they can make Emirates Airline Park and a fortress, they can almost be guaranteed top 8. Like the way that they play some beautiful rugby. We just spoke about Kate Voliter. We can't talk about Kate Voliter for that long and not back him in the next game. Okay, so I'm going with the Lions to win this game. I know Edinburgh will be more like acclimatized now. Obviously, last weekend they just traveled down, but just the way that the Lions play and how clinical they are, I just think they'll be too strong for this Edinburgh team. I know there's stars in this Edinburgh team, but yeah, I'm backing the Lions. Like if Edinburgh couldn't do it over that Bulls team, they're not doing it over this Lions team, who I currently think is probably our best team in the URC. So yeah, I'm backing the Lions. But I'm going tight victory, 5 points, 5 points in it.
I think looking at the way the 4 teams played over this past weekend that we just saw, I think the Lions have played the best rugby. I mean, obviously it's like first game in, but they did play the best rugby. And obviously with that comes confidence and with that comes victory. So I think a victory, and I think a victory by, I'm going to say 6 points. I'm also going to say it's not going to be too far-fetched.
Yeah, boys, please do remember, I do have the link in the description. So join the SUPERBRU. We'd love to get you guys involved. Obviously, we try and grow it every single season. I would love for a little SUPERBRU when the community comes together. I know that people support the different competitions, but if we have imagine if league of like 500 just Cephas and scripted subscribers and followers or whatever coming through on the SUPERBRU. That would be lovely. Also, do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. And please come into the comments, because we're going to do that comment section thing at the start of every single video. Highlight some comments. If you have a controversial take, throw it at us. Anyway, let's go. Bulls, Ulster. Do you think we see Ioane Orkia and Marco van Staden? Do we see?
I think we do.
Especially those two. I think we see both.
They'll be there. Obviously,
maybe Ioane Orkia on the bench, but I think Marco van Staden.
Maybe, but I mean, they're marketing it like they're coming back, because obviously they've been posting videos with the two, posting like them doing their time trials, posting them saying we back. Well, please come support us at Loftus. So they'll both have a role in that team. So
Gerard Steenekamp as well, yeah, and Elrich Louw.
Yeah. So
I think it will be quite some time before we maybe see Elrich Louw. Obviously, he played against Ireland. He played.
Yeah, Ulrich might have a bit of a break, but I think start chucking in who you can at this point and let's get rolling on. I think after seeing what Ulster did against the Lions, I'm not going to sound like we're going to win. I don't know what's happening with Philly. I'll be honest. I haven't heard anything about it.
He hasn't been in any of the marketing. Like, is this guy like injured?
Yeah. The thing is, like, after he wasn't even selected on the bench or anything for the Springboks in those last two games, I'm like, because obviously he's getting quite close to 100 caps for the Boks, and you thought you'd get some caps adding to that, but he didn't, and now I'm not seeing him ready feature for the Bulls per se. I may have missed the post that he was in, but I haven't seen anything. So it is what it is. I think he'll be back eventually, and when he is back, we'll take him back with open arms. But got to just live on and kick on, I guess.
Yeah, I think the Bulls will have a massive performance. I think last weekend was kind of like a warm-up thing, but with the big boys coming back, I don't think we'll see Elrich Louw. But I've seen Gerard Steenekamp there. I've seen Johan Grobler coming back last weekend. They've talked about Ioane Orkia the whole time. I am expecting to see Willie. Like, the guy hasn't played that much, so unless he's a spy and they are hiding this guy from the world, surely he plays. And I think he'll be too strong. I'm going with the Bulls to take a victory by at least 14. I think he put a beating on Ulster. As it's not a disrespect to Ulster, I just think the Bulls will be fired up for this game.
Yeah, well, it's a must-win for Lions and Bulls because it's your last game before you tour, and you've got to take your chances at home. You've got to take every chance you get to get as many points as you can, because they're going to be crucial come the end of the tournament when you've traveled and you've maybe not performed and you've lost on the trot. So has to win, and I think they will win. I'm going to guess a bonus point win as well. I'm going to say 11 points, 12 points. And yeah, I think it has to be a statement because they are obviously traveling now, and with that comes a difficult time as usual for all South African teams, and they've just got to stay tight and even they have to pull off one victory at least. I mean, you have to take everything you can get. So yeah, Bulls to win.
Yeah. Okay. Sharks taking on the Dragons. Beat down City. The Sharks, they will be hurting after giving it away and totally just like bottling it against Connacht. I'll just shoot straight. I'm going Sharks by 25 to 30 points. Yeah, I think they smash them.
Okay. I think Sharks
look at what they did to Connacht, who's been a decent team in the first half. I think they smoked the Dragons. Dragons are not impressive.
Yeah, I think the Sharks win, and I'm confident in that. It's just, I'm going to say 15 to 18, somewhere there. Purely because if something goes right, something has to go wrong. So a win, great, but will it be as convincing as they want? Maybe not. So, yeah, I don't know. I just, look, they have the power to go there and absolutely annihilate the Dragons. Like, it's not even they should be beating the Dragons convincingly. And even 15 to 18 points away, you'll take that all day, every day, as long as you get that bonus point. So,
Yeah.
regardless
It
of
could
what
be a
the scoreline
1-point
is,
game. Win the game, get the bonus point.
yeah, they just need 5 points from this game, move on. Like, leave the UK with as many points as possible because it's valuable.
Let's move on to the Stormers, as mentioned before, playing their first game. I don't know what happened that the game got written off against the Ospreys. I'm pretty sure we would have taken that one. But I mean, it is what it is. The good teams have to fight back. Taking on Zebra, who put up a massive performance against Munster. I'm shitting it. I do have the shit. Because I would think, okay, this is just Zebra. They put up one performance and they just drop off. Then I'm like, well, this is the Stormers. This is the Stormers. And if there's ever a time that Zebra will put up 2 consistent performances and beat 2 teams in a row, it would be against the Stormers. I am scared. I'm scared. I will back my team, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. Brevin, what's your thoughts? I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie. If I was a Stormers fan, I'd also be feeling a little uncertain in the sense that obviously Zebra just came off a massive win against Munster. I mean, that's huge for them. And obviously they did that against the Sharks last season, but I think this is a different story. It's a Munster team that, because obviously Sharks were consistently bad last year, so it kind of took the value away from that. Whereas Munster, they're a good team, regardless of who they field. There's depth there, good experience, etc. And yeah, I think I'd be uncertain. But if I just look at those players, they have to pull through. And the right players need to be started. I mean,
Has
start
Moni
under
blown up?
Fenter. I don't know.
I pray that they have. I don't care if it's just 1 week.
I doubt any South African players come back from this and then fly up and meet. I don't know. But I think obviously Ben Jason Dixon needs to start. Andre Fenter needs to start. Willemse needs to have a good game. Like these types of things, I just think you guys are too good. But
I think so too. I'm going Stormers by 18 points. This is Zebra. This is Zebra. I would love for Zebra to do well, but I would like them to stink out the place on Saturday night, final game. Stink out the place, give us our 5 points, and we can just go home. I'll be happy.
But I think, obviously, I don't want to be negative about any South African teams, but let's say a slip-up happens here from the Stormers. Is it alarm bells already? Like, massive alarm bells?
Yes. Because we have to play the South African teams twice. If we lose against the Ospreys and Zebra, against who should I feel confident? The Dragons, that we literally nearly bottled it at the end of the year. Leinster, Munster, Bulls twice, Lions twice like they currently are, Sharks twice. Who do I back my team against? Scarlets? Well, they put 50 on Zebra. Who do I back my team against? So yes, obviously I'd go, whoop, whoop. What the fuck's going on? No.
Okay, I do think the Stormers will win. I'm not going to be that guy that trolls the Stormers. I think they're a quality side, and obviously they're missing a few key players, Sasha, Ivan Roos, etc. And it's crazy. How long is Ivan Roos out for? Obviously Sasha's out for a long time.
End of the year, I think, as well.
Those are 2 key that haven't been fixed. We knew Ivan Roos was injured for a while.
Just give me money again. Just give me creativity. That's all that I'm asking for. We have got this backline that likes to run the ball, but there's zero creativity there. Just give me money back.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
I watched a video on Twitter that the Stormers posted, and it was like they posted a compilation of some of our best tries. Money is literally vital in every single one of those tries. Maybe 1 or 2 not, where it's Damian Willemse. But the rest it's Money. Money. Give me money back.
Did you play 3 games or?
Yeah, I think it's 3. I think we played 3 games.
Maybe if a slip up happens this week, right? I think
No,
it's like
don't even start. Don't even start.
Marnie, get on the plane, come win this third game for us. It's not okay. Obviously, look, I
But that's
still
what I'm
think you
saying.
win.
Like, surely Marnie's flown up now to join the team, especially if we're going to be there.
Even if
for
you bring him off
another
the
week.
bench, right? Because you'd rather not have Marnie come off the bench, for example, than I think it was Dan Duplessis, or no, it was a John
Yuri
Reed
Mattia.
Duplessis. So, well, he started, right? And
Yeah, but I just bring on Yuri Mattia because he's got a reliable boot.
Okay, so you start Marnie straight up, just chuck him in there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for the fixtures. But yeah, if Marnie's there, I play Marnie. I just play him and whatever. I don't care. We shouldn't even be worry about bringing a kicker off the bench. This is Zebre.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Anyway, let's actually just move on. We'll do quick fire with the rest of them. Okay. Cardiff Glasgow. How many points are you going, Stormers?
I think Stormers will win by about 10.
Okay. I'm going Stormers by 18.
Cool.
18.
Sweet.
I don't even believe that, but yeah. Cardiff versus Glasgow. Glasgow, easy. 16 points.
Cardiff, yeah. I mean,
Cardiff
Glasgow
at home.
should win that. Yeah, but still, I think Glasgow should win that comfortably.
Yeah, they were just so clinical against Benetton, eh?
Did you see Benetton's new signing?
Yeah.
Even though he's old, I
Justin
still
Krevy.
think it's a
sexy
guy,
signing, yeah.
Experience will bring that good last 20 minutes off the bench. Maybe start. I don't know. He's getting a bit old, but yeah.
But he can still play to a high level. I mean, the guy literally just ran out against the All Blacks.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Glasgow should win that pretty comfortable. No questions asked. 20 plus maybe.
Yeah, I could agree. Scarlets Connacht. I'm going Connacht. Scarlets at home though, but I'm going Connacht 12 points. They'll take some confidence from that victory against Sharks.
Yeah, especially that second half. If they can kind of put a similar performance up in two halves, I mean, Connacht will be very happy with that. So I think Connacht to win by 10.
Yeah. Benetton taking on Leinster. I'm pretty sure Leinster will field a strong team. Benetton at home isn't easy. So then they just field a strong team, put on 50 points on them, and then just get out of there. I'm going Leinster to win by like 22 points. Benetton has not looked good.
Yeah.
Played with 12 men on the field last weekend. Discipline.
Yeah, obviously Leinster to win. There's no doubt about that. But how much? I'll go 20 plus. I don't know how much past 20, but I'll go 20 plus.
Fair enough. Then we got Munster Ospreys. Munster, I think Munster will be a scary outfit after that loss against Zebre. They'll play their full strength boys at home as well. Ospreys
How
not
often
bad
do we
at
see
all.
this? Like
I
Munster,
think they'll be in the game for like 10 minutes, and then Munster just put them to the sword.
When Munster won the URC, remember how badly they started? No, sorry, it wasn't the year they won it. Was it the year or was it the year after? They were defending and then.
No. It was previous season because we said this might be the worst defense ever.
Okay, even though they got knocked out in the semis, that they probably should have won if you look at them strength for strength. Even Bulls should have won, but obviously Glasgow just said underdog story, here we come. Munster were down in the dumps and we thought these guys are horrific. And next minute they came up and made a semi-final, had a home semi-final that they could have easily had a home final. And I think they will turn it around because they have to. There's no other way to look at it. And obviously having Jean climb back properly, getting your internationals back into it. Yeah, I can't see another outcome other than Munster to win.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going Munster by a lot, like 16.
So do you think it's quite straightforward games this weekend? Like it should be, except for the Lions game per se.
Yeah.
And
And
Bulldogs.
I think all of them have.
also be winning
We've
possibly.
seen the close games. I think we see some big points put onto some of these teams this weekend.
Sweet. I
Okay.
hope it's South African teams.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Especially the one. That wraps it up. Thank you very much for watching. We do appreciate you guys. This is obviously longer episodes, seeing that we're covering a bit more stuff, but we've managed to get everything in 50 minutes. Thank you for watching.
Not a bad effort.
Please do remember to like and subscribe. Well, if we were 3 today, it would have been a shit show. It would have been a long one, hour and a half.
Very long one, yeah.
Anyway, bye-bye.